24 at 7 p.m. I'll begin with the roll call. Mr. Ramoni.
Here.
Ms. Wills.
Here.
Mr. Browning is absent. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Decker.
Here.
Beck.
Here.
Myself's here. Mr. Tibbs is here, and we got a few people in the audience. If you'll please stand, Ms. Beck will do the invocation, and I'll do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this day that you've given each and every one of us here, Lord. I just thank you for our many blessings, Lord, and our freedom and all our service men and women who've served our great country, Lord. I just give you all the praise and the glory. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Agenda item number 3, any additions or deletions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Agenda item number 4, discussing the following meeting minutes, June 18th, 2024, regular meeting.
Motion to approve June 18th regular meeting minutes. Second.
Motion by Mr. Decker, second by Mr. Smith. Actually, I do have something in those minutes right here. I did not speak to her brothers. I spoke to the boys. Change it in where it says item 4A, Avenue J, right towards the bottom. I spoke with Miss Fisher, and she council approval to change the E91. I have also spoken to her brothers and family. It wasn't Miss Perry's brothers; it was her children.
Okay. Y'all can approve it with the corrections, and if
Okay.
you want to just mark through and show me what you want me to change.
Okay, yeah. Motion by Mr. Decker, second by Brad. In addition to the changes, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Number 5, report of officers, Mr. Tibbs.
Okay, I got a call this afternoon. Ridgedale had to terminate their contract with the company that was installing the pavers. Apparently, when they looked at these companies before, that company that they selected had been in business for like 28 years. But unbeknownst to them, I think about 3 days before they actually signed the contract, the company was bought out. So the old employees did all the ordering and that kind of thing for the pavers, and and they've come in. But while the companies out here, whether this past week trying to install the pavers, they determined that they didn't know how to do it. So like I said, they terminated the contract this afternoon. They're looking for another company they can contract with. But like I said, it shouldn't affect the pavers because they were already ordered out of the way. So, but it was a good thing before they got in there and messed anything up. So the second thing, there's a letter in front of you there concerning the medical office over here. As you at the last meeting, the council did okay renaming Avenue J to recognize Miss Julie Perry. In this letter, they're pointing out that this is going to cause some problems for them because with them participating in Medicare, Medicaid, and other different insurance programs, you have to have your address and that kind of thing. They've been in the process of switching everything over. At one point in time, Ms. Johnson, I guess, had stuff going to her private address. That's all been switched over. So they're indicating this is going to cause a lot of problems for them. We did, like I said, at the last meeting, we did suggest it, or did approve it. And so one of the suggestions that's come up is maybe just dedicating the road to Miss Julie Perry without changing the dedicated the departments in the 911 system and that kind of thing. So we're kind of just discuss that's one option is leave it as is. The other option is to let it revert back to Avenue J and those addresses, and then come up with another method of putting a sign up that doesn't, as long as it doesn't look like the FDOT green signs, you can put other decorative signs up there that dedicates that Avenue J to.
Above the F.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I know that when she first opened, there was never anyone going to the doctor's office. And I asked her, what's going on? And a lot of it had to do with the addresses. It had to do a lot with where the customer can go to get their medicines or get the prescriptions to get their medicine. And she was trying to get the address solid so she could pick up her clientele. And now that she's got the addresses solid with all the insurance companies, she's picking up people. So I would, I guess I would have to rescind my motion of making an official name change, but we still want to dedicate the street to Julie Perry Drive. And speaking with 911, that you would have your regular green reflective street sign, and then above that, you can put your Julie Perry Drive, and that won't affect our EMS or ambulance.
Sounds good.
Then you
You don't
motion in a second.
You don't want to put it down this way.
That I don't, well, and I didn't think of it. If we do it
Well,
here,
but
then we've got to
that's-
change
but that's-
everything. and the
Yeah,
library's
City
gotta
Hall.
change
The only
everything.
way would maybe be this road here that doesn't have anybody abutting it.
Well,
address.
she was more library, so we were trying to keep it,
That way.
that they were talking about over there, not the city hall. It's a good suggestion. I'm not, but I think what we'll do is I'll rescind the motion of making an official name change. And my motion would be to leave the physical street address the same and just dedicate the street to Julie Perry without affecting the 911.
So that's your motion.
Yes, sir.
Second.
All those, sorry, I'm gonna repeat.
Unless you want me
Can
to.
I make the motion since I'm running? Motion by Mr. Eigner, second by Mr. Decker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah,
Tibbs.
in addition, there's a letter there from concerning 300 First Street. Yeah, so the River House Marina building, they've submitted an invoice for having to re-clean filter. Basically, I think I had to get new filters due to during the construction. There was a lot of dust and dirt going over there, and like I said, they're basically submitting the thing to see if the city would reimburse you that $529.99. I did, when I was contacted today, I did say I would present some items, see what council's direction is on that. This item.
Negatory.
I don't, I know the pool guy's a straight shooter. I know Miss Walker's always been a straight shooter with the city of Moore Haven. The amount of time that I spent down here, I would have to say for those pool filters all the way over there to be that bad, that you probably wouldn't have been able to see out of city hall windows if it was that much dust. I don't know.
That's a long distance.
That's, yes, sir, it is. And
I'd be concerned about the precedents as well. They're saying.
How was the cars?
I think
How were the,
Just a little dusty,
Dusty.
nothing
we
terrible.
didn't have any complaints from boaters.
no,
We didn't have any complaints from Jennifer.
Yeah.
Never right here.
To do it,
That was on the worst.
but they
street.
park in the back, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
but
But still.
The filters are in-house, right, over there on that
Yeah.
pool
Mhm.
deck?
And obviously with the amount of road work was done out there, at times there was a lot of dust and dirt floating around, but there's no way we could control that. I mean, that's nature. It's not.
Exactly.
he writes them off anyway.
I
If he doesn't, he needs a new accountant, right?
I think since as the council let Mr. Tibbs respond, the
Mhm.
letter of negative,
You get to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
For a change.
Tibbs.
And I think that's it.
I want to talk about the pavers a little bit. I know I talked to Wayland also, and they've been looking for a new paving company, like he said, since early last week. They've got a line on a couple of people. He said he's gonna be bringing them over here to get a price. So, that's all I want to just follow up on.
He was really disgusted last week. I know when I
Yeah.
talked to him.
They've been lying, they have.
Really got jerked around.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
So I'm gonna do a first reading on the code enforcement ordinance. I mentioned to y'all at the last meeting, we had been working on this. And then I also had talked with, June Fisher from the county about magistrate process, and we're probably gonna need to try to, if you adopt this, I would go to that process in the budget, identify some allocations to that, but at least it'll be a more cohesive type of process. So this would be ordinance 359, ordinance of the city of Moorhaven, Florida, amending the land development code of Moorhaven by revising chapter 40 code enforcement, acting a comprehensive process of code enforcement by the city of Moorhaven, designating code enforcement officers, establishing investigative procedures, citation procedures, providing civil penalties, establishing other means of enforcement, providing criminal penalties and remedies, establishing administrative remedies, establishing a special magistrate system, including conduct of a hearing, providing a conflicts clause, severability clause, and providing an effective date. I just need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
I need a motion. Okay. Motion by
Motion.
Ms. Beck, second by Mr. Decker. Discussion. Is there anything you wanted to add, Mr. Tibbs, in it?
It pretty well parallels the Florida statute that covers code enforcement. One of the things in there is that it puts a little more teeth in the code in that if it's a recurrence, you don't have to give them, you don't have to wait to give them a notice, you give them, notice, right up right then. Or if it's gonna cause some kind of harm that needs to be corrected at that point in time, you can also give them immediate, thing. And then obviously it adds the special magistrate in that process, which, like I said, is in use in a lot of different places now because it's a lot quicker process and you're dealing with someone that's all they're looking at is code enforcement, not, all the other general government things that goes on.
This is what I printed after that.
You were good with that, Steve?
So the only thing I need to do is I need to amend the title because I think when Mr. LaRue drafted the ordinance, there were some sections that I went back and I had him add, which he did later he had done today. But looking at the way the title reads, I would also add providing for powers, providing for administrative findings, providing for duration of lien, providing for rehearing, providing for appeals, providing for notices, and then go to providing a conflicts clause, severability clause, and providing an effective date. So I'll give you a new title to publish, but if we could go ahead and adopt as amended the title first reading.
Anything else?
I just need
Wait.
So I have to make a motion. for
Motion
that.
by
Yeah.
Ms. Beck, second by
Second.
Brad. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Motion carries.
On the code enforcement, I have a status hearing with Judge Lundy set for the 16th, 2 weeks at 4 p.m. And that's going to be Baez and the restaurant on that. Because I tried to write to the restaurant owners, new owners.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and I never got a response. So,
That the son came in here the other day.
oh, he did.
He did. And he asked what he needed to do. He asked how much the fines were. What's recorded is only 4,000 something, if I'm not mistaken. Once we go back to court, we can add all the other on there. We haven't went back since Felicia's been gone. And it comes out to like, I think it's around like $18,000 now.
So normally the approach I would take is if they're gonna fix it. then-
That's what I did tell them. I said, if you come to it, to the council or whatever, they may be apt to just let you fix what the problems were. And then if you fix what the problems were, they may just not go and record the rest of it, or they may only record a portion of it, or they may forgive it all depending on what you've done. So I told him that he said, what do you think my next steps are? And I said, I think you need to take the pictures, because he had all the pictures, because Colleen gave them all to him, and fix all the problems in the pictures. The boards need to come off the windows. The tank out there either needs to be removed or cleaned up, repainted, whatever. Any of the issues that you see that makes it look not presentable needs to be fixed.
Did we leave the contact number?
No, I don't think he did, but I think he called Colleen, so she probably has his information.
I probably would go ahead and keep that as a status hearing, and then we could always work it out.
And back to the other $18,000 fines.
Could be more or less. I
Yeah,
just,
sure, whatever the fines
Yeah.
are. We've been dealing with this. I mean, it's.
well,
since
his father did pass away, the one we were dealing with.
Okay, the older guy.
But he
Mhm.
could have stepped in at any point in time after the last 9 years and done something with it. I'm
Yeah.
sure his dad said something to him about it, but if we continue to put that bigger number on him, that's really gonna keep his attention. And before it's over with, he may either have to just cough up the building and property to us or
He
pay the
said,
$18,000.
he said he would be more apt to fix it because he wouldn't have to pay the big fines than to be able, he said he can't pay the big fines and fix it. So I told him
I would
to
say,
start working on the list, is basically what I told him.
all right,
Yeah, I'll keep it on the front burner.
yeah, man, yeah.
And then the only other thing is I think we're gonna set a special meeting for CAPA on the 16th as well. Very limited what we need to do, so I'd say probably 6:45 would be sufficient.
Don't we have already that we're supposed to have a workshop when Clay came back about the dockage, about the marine? Is that the 16th also?
I think that's the same day.
We can do,
I have to go back to my notes, but I think it's the same
so you
day.
could do the workshop at 6 and then
Six.
the CAPA at
After.
6:45 or 6:50.
That was one of the things on my list was a workshop about these docks. So that will be on the agenda also. Well, that is the agenda, and then there'll be a cafe.
That's all I have.
Does anybody have anything for Mr. Ramoni? Miss City Clerk,
I don't have anything.
anybody have anything for Miss City Clerk? All right, Craig A. Smith. No, CS Governmental Services.
I think we get the state extended the deadline for the grant portal for FDP to July 15th. But so far we've got everything in bars, so
Okay.
so now we're waiting for it to close and see what they award.
Brad have a report?
He's over now. I guess we got a problem with the yacht club with the lift station. They're over there working now. But like I said, they're just kind of, the pump for the training center should be in tomorrow, so then hopefully we'll get that installed.
Okay.
But like I said, they're just kind of,
What did we, the pump that's coming in for the training center, is that one that was included in the CCPWA where we were, did you guys decide to order more?
yes,
What horse pumps? And I mean, we made that, I mean, I know we decided to order them, but you ordered them?
yes.
Brad has ordered them?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all Brad, that you got for Brad?
Yeah.
And Brad?
You know, obviously we're behind in mowing and doing a lot of other things, but they're trying to catch up in it too. But weather's not helping that much either. We're down a couple people, but trying to get our stuff first, so.
Moving along to agenda item number 6, the approval of bills in the amount of $69,776.04.
Should I do the bills?
Motion by Ms. Beck to approve bills,
Second.
second by Mr. Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item number 7. We don't have everyone. Everyone's good. Number 8, mayor and council to give reports. Mr. Smith, have anything to report?
Trash cans, you know, when they were supposed to get,
We're,
The
I've been
letters.
printing out all this stuff and then we're getting it all ready to go out with the cans right now.
okay, cool. That's all I have.
Decker?
Yeah, I got 2 things I'd like to bring up. A guy that rents a slip from us at the marina was wondering if we couldn't pressure wash that ceiling over there where the plywood is.
Cobwebs and stuff on it?
Yeah, and there's some kind of growth,
Yeah,
it looks
saw-
like, on the plywood itself.
Saw that. I thought the same thing, but I don't know how we would do it with people's boats sitting there,
Well,
you know?
him and I talked about that, and he said maybe 2 at a time, but I said, this is a 1-day deal, you gotta get it done once.
We could possibly give notice to the people that have the slips and let them know, you know, hey, July 15th, we're gonna be doing maintenance on the slips. Can you,
Yeah, that'd be a good
you
idea.
know, they're more than welcome to tie up to the seawall or the wooden dock.
There's certainly enough room.
I do
I mean,
believe that some of those people that have their boats docked in there are not in town.
Oh, they're not?
Some of them are snowbirds. So you might have to wait till season comes back to take care of that.
And then leave their boat in the water and they'll not be here?
Well, and that's the thing, if we wait until season, now your dock's really full.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be able to shut it down then, but,
Not really over there.
you know.
Mm-mm.
But we could talk to Brad and see, kind of get a game plan.
Yeah, even if we can get 4 of them moved
Yeah.
at a time.
And if they clean 4 of them, they're just tied up, almost just take the rope and pull it around there and out.
Well, you saw the growth that
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah.
is on that plywood. It's ugly.
Might be something, but if we can't do it, maybe the fixation station, they're big pressure cleaning stuff for us, so. Anything else, Mr. Decker?
Yeah, I'm seeing it, Larry, I'm seeing a lot of cars without plates.
As well.
There's, every street you go on, you can find one. And I see her riding around, and isn't there some kind of notice she puts on the homes or the cars?
She red tags them.
Well, these, I haven't found any red tags on them, but, over there by the shop in that alley, where you go between Florida Avenue and Palm Avenue, there is, an old Jeep that's there. Another old trailer with just loaded full of junk. I've talked to her months ago, maybe 3-4 months ago, about getting that stuff taken out. Now the guy's putting 2 other old trailers there. The rest of them homes are kept up pretty well, but we don't need to end that street or that alley, I'm sorry, turning into a scrapyard. So if you could tell Colleen to notify those people to get that stuff removed. Oh, I got Jake, thanks.
Ms. Beck?
I don't have anything.
All right. I got a couple of things, Larry, they're more for Brad, but, with the turnover in employees we've had in years in the past, when we open up the city, we pick up litter. And over on Railroad Avenue, 4th Street, behind the stores and all that, they need to, I would like to see them take 3 or 4 hours and just walk down through there. They're not gonna be able to get it all out of there, but they need. And one reason for it is that styrofoam and all that stuff comes right up to our pump and gets wrapped around the pump, and we just had that issue, but, I would like to see the guys do a little more litter cleanup before they jump on the mowers first thing in the morning. We got the workshop on the dockage. The lights on the Veterans Memorial, just make sure we follow up on that. Will you put a post on the site, like where you put the, disconnect notice, about our fireworks again, please.
Mhm.
So we can share that a little bit for the next couple of days.
It's on our Facebook.
Yeah, I
page.
saw one.
Yeah, just get some more, I mean, but put it back on there so it'll just remind people. So they might forget what it is. The three guys are coming tomorrow, but this is my big thing, Steve. And it has to do with Craig A. Smith. I made a big list as this project started going, and as the project came along, I realized that I was nitpicking on a lot of things.
The road, you mean?
Yes, sir. A lot of things that weren't in the contractor's control or the engineers. It was, you had to get down in there and figure out what it was. When Gene Schreiner came and Jim LaRue, and we walked around the park the very first day, I was explaining to Gene what I wanted. He had just finished a small community. I don't know if it was a golf course community or whatever. As we're headed over here to this corner, he says to me, you need to put a roundabout right there. And he said, in all these intersections, you need to put paver brick. Well, that's where the paver brick intersections came here with the MH channel. All right. When we voted to remove the roundabout, we replaced it with an MH. Nobody on this council or the city manager told Craig A. Smith to take those paver bricks out of the intersections. When Ridgeville bid, they didn't bid on those paver bricks. They were never included in the plans. Now, this council is, I'm just gonna be real frank, like I explained to him, this council don't care anything about the size of pipes that are underneath this ground. They don't care 2 cents about a deflection box. What they cared about was the overall appearance when it was finished. We didn't ask Craig A. Smith to take it out of there. We didn't ask them to basically screw us on core samples. I'm not going to, there's probably nobody here that understands how valuable Connie and Craig A. Smith are together. We would never be able to replace that relationship. But I'm not gonna let these paver bricks go. And I don't know who told Orlando to take them out of there. It was nobody sitting here. And when they drew this, they gave us 3 drawings. We chose drawing number 1, and on drawing number 1, all the paper bricks are there.
What do you mean by they took them out?
They just didn't put them in the bid.
For the whole section or just where the round?
All of it.
The problem is this was a conceptual drawing. You know, like I said, when it came around with the final design, they go into the plans. All you have is the strips around the intersection. That was all that was included in the plans that went out to bid,
Which is what's
So-
cut out here now.
which is what the contractor bid on. So you know, I guess how do you get, you know, from conceptual drawing not into the plans? I don't know.
And I know that when Orlando came here for his first presentation, it was a fireball. But we also met multiple times after that. And it's not my pay scale and it's not his pay scale to get a set of detailed drawings with measurements on it and take them and sit in there and figure out every square inch. That's what we paid them to do. They presented it. We agreed on the idea. I mean, they don't care if there's 6-inch or 8-inch pipes under that road. What they cared about was what the finished product looked like.
So what's the difference now?
None of this, there's no beautification.
No, I
to
meant
it.
monetary.
I don't know. These are what they've taken out. There's no beautification to the entire project, and that's what this started as. I don't know. I'm gonna wait until it's all over, but I just want to make you aware that I'm not gonna let it go. And I don't know if the mayor knows about it, but I'm sure he's not gonna be happy. I'm not trying to go out for a new engineer because I can't replace that with Connie, but they screwed the pooch on this. big
Well, I'm
time.
not so sure at this point that Connie's tied at the hip with them like they used to be. That's why they changed their
We had
entity.
that conversation too. Well,
You know, obviously they have, like I said, they went off as a separate company, but they have a long-term relationship, working relationship with
Sure,
those.
sure.
So that helps you tremendously, because like I said, it's easier to tell them what you want them to get back, you know, particularly with grant writing and that kind of stuff.
and it's, we didn't make a big deal. I mean, we made a big deal here out of the demucking and
What I had done,
No, we had a right.
about, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months ago, I had a conversation with Connie about his satisfaction with Craig A. Smith or whatever.
Yeah.
They've become. And I think as a result, you saw for a little bit, some people show up.
Yeah.
So probably my suggestion would be is we speak with her again
that's what we talked about.
and we'll see where it goes.
And I mean, that Greg Giratano, I mean, he built all this stuff.
Right.
If we could if I could just hire him as a consultant for everything.
Yeah,
that'd
but
be
he works
great.
for the county. I mean, yes,
That'd
he's
be
a
great.
sharp guy, but he works for this company now. So
Right.
the problem is I think now there's a big disconnect.
And they're doing a lot more. They're coast. They're doing their work on the coast.
Well, they're much bigger now.
Yeah.
When they started, they were G and Jensen
Yeah.
way back. That was the original.
Yeah.
And then they kind of morphed into different companies to what they are today, which I'm not even sure what their name is at this point.
Well, I think they're definitely on my radar, and I know they were on the council's radar with the demucking. And like I said, I was just waiting to get through the project a little bit more, but they didn't do what we asked. They didn't do what we asked, and some people have a little more heart. I mean, Wayland and that Ridgedale crew, they got a lot of heart in this project down here. But you would have thought to rebuild a downtown historical marina district that had been crap since the 20s, he would have put a little thought into it, and he didn't. And the other thing, if you really want to really get him on something, all the pictures that we carried to Tallahassee back and forth to try and get this grant funding, if you go back and look at the photos that I took, the majority of the water was exactly where it's standing today in the brand new street and all the handicap spots, and the drain's right across the street from it. So that was an engineering fault right there, 100%.
So we have problems.
Oh, there's water standing there right
But
where we took the
yeah,
pictures.
too.
And now, like Waylon said, in the middle of the roads, you're gonna have puddling because the streets are so wide. You're gonna have puddling. But right here, from basically the edge of the sidewalk all the way up to the first concrete finger, there's 8 inches of water, and it's trapped in between those concrete islands in the handicap. And why did we start this project? Because you couldn't get out of your car in front of City Hall and give us your money without getting wet. So here we are again with it. I don't have,
We're probably, if that's the case, we're probably gonna have to give them a notice. Secure. They haven't got their final payment, have they?
No.
So
I said something now
can you send me
because
the contract by email?
when we get ready to do the final walk around, I don't want him to have to come up, especially after it rains, because I'm pretty perturbed about it. I really am.
All right, we'll take care of it.
Yes, yeah, you can say it before, even before they paid. It would be right. Is Gene's son own that company now?
No,
No.
the company's owned, Craig A. Smith has a son, Stephen Smith. He's
Oh, Steven, that's it.
he's the remaining owner now. Because Gene, at one point in time, was an owner, and then he went to having a contract with them, and now he's fully retired. So he really has no affiliation with them anymore. So, like I said, Stephen has control of the company.
I think
But that's Craig Smith's son.
Yes,
Stevenson.
the real,
And they've just gotten, maybe they've just gotten too big. They've outgrown the city of Moore Haven. They've outgrown all the money we keep giving them. I don't believe I have anything else. Definitely, Mark, I was gonna tell you that Saturday, the judging turned the ribs in at 12, but the dinners will, I believe at 11, the dinners are starting to be sold. There'll be a few vendors up there, so, that's all I have. Discuss financial statements if needed. Number 10, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Beck, second by Mr. Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.